Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of December 9th. This week, we are going to jump right in here. You have this Chaos and Conflict card and this Between Worlds card. So some of you could clearly be between two worlds, or you could be kind of conflicted at this time about like which world to enter into. So I definitely get that feeling from those two cards. Again, all the retrogrades at the end of the year here definitely could be causing a little bit of conflict, or could be causing like unclear thoughts or not being sure what your next move should be, which the Queen of Wands actually kind of represents that. Like I said, I don't really feel this is like a bad thing necessarily. I think that, this could be one of those times where, there's no doubt about it. If you're confused or if you're not sure like what you're doing, it can be uncomfortable. But, sometimes these uncomfortable moments lead to a lot of success, or lead to the change that you need to make to have success. So, again, I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing, but you have the Five of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. It's almost like you're not getting what you want out of a situation. Five of Pentacles can represent being left out in the cold, of course. And the Five of Pentacles is like the card of poverty, so it can represent money. With the Seven of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles, it's kind of weird how that's set up, because Seven of Pentacles, of course, Libra says, is the juice worth the squeeze? You get it with me every single week. The Three of Pentacles is quality work, so it's almost like you are looking at the work that you do in anything, right? It could even be the work you do in a relationship as well. And you could be thinking to yourself that you're not getting like what you put in out, and that's kind of the feeling I get with the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles does have a very easy solution, though. Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. Make sure to focus on your strengths. And that's what I would do with the Five of Pentacles, is focus on your strengths. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze, of course. So he's wondering, like, is it worth it to keep putting work into the situation that I'm in, or should I have a new beginning? I think that, the answer is very simple here. We go Three of Swords to the Fool. So it looks to me like you're about to take a leap of faith away from something, spoiler alert here, Libra, because we're jumping forward, but, it looks to me like you're taking a leap of faith away from something that no longer serves you, and you're jumping into a new beginning, or you're about to have some sort of new beginning. You have this Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is, the card that says teamwork makes the dream work. But again, I kind of get more of the feeling that you're putting a lot of work into things in your life, and maybe you're just not getting the result you desire, or maybe you're getting no result at all. I think it's going to be different for all of you, of course. But, it kind of is saying to me that like you are willing to put in the work, but maybe other people that you're dealing with are not willing to put in the work. So that could be an issue as well. Because, we go up to the Three of Swords, and Three of Swords is heartbreak. But, Three of Swords can be heartbreak at work as well. It can say that, again, you're like working with people and they're not pulling their weight, and this is causing stress or, some other issue. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Emperor. Emperor really says you have to take control. Pretty interesting, because a lot of people have been getting the Emperor with me recently, and I do feel we are in a time where it's like we are the ones that have to take control of the direction of our life. So the universe is really asking all of us to kind of like take control of our destiny in some way, or take control of the things that we do and work on. And if we do that, we'll be more successful. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Devil. The Devil can, of course, represent toxic energy. I've kind of already said this, that, it's basically just repeating the message, I feel, the Devil. Just basically saying that, something in your life isn't pulling its weight, and maybe it's draining you. The Devil is like an energy vampire. It can be something that drains your energy, and it could be a person, place, or a thing, or a job, or a belief, or whatever. So I think a lot of you are realizing with these cards here that something isn't like pulling its weight in your life, or something isn't cutting it. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Cups. Apparently you're walking away here, Libra, from whatever, and having a new beginning, like I said, with that Fool card. So I think that this is pretty simple. I think you're just ready to move in a new direction. I also kind of feel like you're ready to heal with that Three of Swords. Those swords with the Three of Swords are in your own heart. So the Three of Swords kind of represents forgiveness. It says we have to remove those swords from our own heart so that we can heal. And, I kind of get that feeling here with these cards. And, we don't really know what he is walking away from, or like what he is walking towards. Some people say that he's walking towards the Nine of Cups, but we don't really know that, and neither does he. He just knows that he needs to leave a situation because it isn't right, and that's the only thing that he does know. So I think that a lot of you are clearly heading towards a new beginning. You have this night moon, it says shadow work, and then you have this new moon, it says beginnings on it. Exactly what I've been saying. So clearly, there is some sort of new beginning coming in for you. The shadow work card, this kind of makes sense because, again, sometimes we can be in a situation in life and we tolerate it, whatever the situation is, but then we do work on ourselves in, shadow work or something, and we realize that we shouldn't tolerate it any longer. So, a lot of you maybe have already been doing some work on yourself, and you're realizing that there are things you shouldn't tolerate any longer. You have the Seven of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. Or sorry, the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands is chaos and conflict for sure. It can represent competition as well. But I think that you have learned a lot from the conflicts in your life or the challenges. I always say that these people are using sticks to fight. They're not using swords. So really, the story of the Five of Wands is that they are learning how to fight. They are learning how to, survive a conflict. And so you have learned a lot through whatever you've been through. And I think that's why it's time to kind of like move forward now because, the universe is saying, like, I don't think the universe like really tests us or anything, but, it's almost like the universe is saying, like, you have passed these tests, and now it's time to get out into the real world. You have the Three of Swords. Part of me feels that you've already been doing some healing, like I said, with that shadow work card, and I said it earlier as well, that I think a lot of you are you've already healed to a certain point. I think you're still doing some more healing, but, which is fine. But, I think some of you are kind of like removing these swords from your heart. This card says that we have to forgive the past, and we don't have to forgive a person directly. We only have to forgive them in our heart or in our mind. And, this doesn't even have to be just a person. It could be anything. It could be a job that you lost. It could be, forgiving a boss. It could be forgiving a situation that happened to you, whatever the case may be. But I think that completing this healing is probably going to help lead to this new beginning that we see with the Fool. You also have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is a card of learning as you go. So the Queen of Wands, she has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun. So it points towards her like joy, happiness, peace, things that make her feel that way as well. And I feel that a lot of you could be moving towards your joy, happiness, peace, and enlightenment, all those things. And I think that would be a good idea with the Queen of Wands to move towards things that bring love, joy, happiness, peace into your life. But she doesn't necessarily know how she's going to complete this journey or even get started on the journey. The whole thing is that she has to follow her inspirations, and she is my card of learning as you go. So she has to learn as she is going on her journey, and she will figure it out. She's also on like a very unique journey as well. So again, people might not understand the journey that you're on, but it's not their life, Libra. It's your life, right? And that's all that matters. So let's see. With the Five of Wands, you have the Hermit. So again, some of you might feel like you're trying to avoid conflict, which actually I don't think is a bad thing right now because Mars retrograde at the end of the year, of course, I think avoiding conflict is always a good idea during Mars retrograde, so I would definitely encourage it. But again, I also feel that there is something about needing to shine your inner light with the Hermit. And so he might be fearing conflict, like if he shines his light or if he lives his life the way that he wants to, he could be fearing what will happen. But, in a lot of ways, I feel like you need to. With the Three of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords. Definitely no rushing at this time. And also, I would be careful of people who are rushing into your life with any information at all. Mercury retrograde, Knight of Swords always comes up during Mercury retrograde. And usually the Knight of Swords is like a person who's rushing in with information that just isn't true, or they just don't have all the details. As I always say, this doesn't mean that they're a bad person. So this could be a friend that's rushing in and telling you something about your boyfriend or girlfriend or something, but it might not be true. The Knight of Swords doesn't have all the details. He is just jumping to conclusions. And so the Knight of Swords is always a warning to me, like especially during Mercury retrograde, to not jump to conclusions. It kind of says like, get all the facts first and then make your decision, right? With the Queen of Wands, you have the Judgment card. Yeah, I think you're waking up to your true purpose, like a lot of people right now. With Pluto going into Aquarius, I think we're all discovering that maybe we have a different purpose here on Earth, or, that our purpose is bigger than ourselves, especially because Pluto in Aquarius is the collective. And so we might just feel more pulled to do things that have to do with the collective. And, I think a lot of you are kind of receiving messages or answers. These answers could be coming from your heart as well with that Queen of Cups. You might just be feeling like pulled in new directions, or you might be feeling inspired to move in new directions, and I would trust that. Next, in the area of what messages from your future self, you have the scales of balance. It says, find balance within yourself and things will balance out around you. You have this explosive situations. It says that the destruction will allow new growth to emerge and shape your new future. So, I think this is destruction that's already happened, like with the Three of Swords, some sort of heartbreak or heartbreaking situation that you've had. And we start with the Fool, so you're clearly about to have some sort of new beginning. I do think balancing things out in yourself is going to be important with that Three of Swords, because the Three of Swords is all about healing. You have the Fool, the Queen of Cups, and the Page of Wands. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith in a new direction. So I do feel a lot of you could be taking a leap of faith in a new direction towards something new, and I think that you're about to start a new journey. The Fool, in the major arcana, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as the Fool. So it just seems to me like you're starting a new adventure or starting a new journey in your life, and I think this will be very beneficial for you with the Fool card. The Fool, he also has this like tiny little sack on his back, and not always, but sometimes I feel that the tiny little sack, he's about to go through the whole entire major arcana, this big long journey, and he's only bringing this with him. That's it. So, it kind of, sometimes I feel like the Fool is almost saying that you are over prepared for your journey. So even if you feel like you're not ready for a new beginning, this kind of says that you're over prepared. You are more than ready to have your new beginning. You have the Queen of Cups. It's also, something else that really stands out to me here is Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups. These two constantly show up together in readings that I do. And, the funny thing is that they are kind of similar. Like, the Queen of Wands has to move towards her sun. She has to move towards love, joy, happiness. The Queen of Cups, she has to tap into her heart and her inner voice and like how she is feeling about something. So they are kind of like very similar in some ways in how they operate. And I think that in a lot of ways, this is of course saying follow your heart at this time. Like your heart is trying to tell you to do something or take a leap of faith on something with the Fool card. And the Fool represents very pure intentions. And our pure intentions come from our heart. So I think for a lot of you, the Queen of Cups is saying that it's time for you to like value your feelings or your heart, and especially with the Three of Swords right here, this could say that you are healing your heart, which is helping you, make better decisions with the Queen of Cups or allowing you to move in better directions. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about, again, starting a new adventure or going on a new journey. So I think that there could be like a new adventure or a new journey that you're about to go on. And I think this new adventure or new journey will lead to a lot of success. Page of Wands, all he has is his enthusiasm. So he is just excited for something new. And that's why he moves in that direction. Again, the Queen of Wands is also kind of similar because she has nothing to prove that the adventure she's about to go on is going to be successful. So she really has to trust that she has to really trust herself that sunflower is moving her in the right direction. With the Fool, you have the Two of Cups. Definitely could be new love. Like if you are healing, you could be finding a new connection. Two of Cups is usually a person who is different than your usual self or your typical type that you would normally go for. So for a lot of you, this could definitely be like a different type of person. We have the King of Swords here as well. King of Swords could be someone who's like older than you or more mature, or it could be someone who has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So definitely could be someone who's different than your usual type. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is about celebration and happiness and your community. These three women are celebrating this harvest that's happening around them. And the Three of Cups really says that you need to make sure to surround yourself with people who lift you up. And definitely coming off of the Five of Wands here, the Five of Wands would be people who cause conflict in your life. The Three of Cups would be the total opposite. It would be people who support you and support your vision. And so a lot of you could be, kind of withdrawing with that Hermit card. You could be, avoiding people who cause conflict, and you could be more focused on people who support you. And again, this is a great thing to do during Mars retrograde. Avoid conflict and as much as possible, and stick with people who support you. With the Page of Wands, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, I really like the Eight of Pentacles in this reading because, the Eight of Pentacles really says your hard work is paying off. It's kind of a card of material success on the horizon. It says that you are kind of getting paid for the work that you've been doing all along. And so there definitely you could be getting better results for the work that you do, or you could be making more money or finding more money in the work that you do. But it doesn't have to just be work. It could say that you're putting work into pretty much anything in your life, like your health, your healing, your relationships, and it could say that you're getting a much better result for what you're doing. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this passion card. Can't make that up. I think really this reading is very simple. It's just saying move towards your passions. You have this balance card, and you have a lot of balance cards in this reading already. So I think, balancing things out and balancing your focus. Maybe you need to carve out a little bit of extra time during your day to focus on your passions or to do something that you're more passionate about. I think that would be a good idea as well. You have the Seven of Swords, the Lovers, and the King of Swords. The Seven of Swords, sorry. I keep wanting to say Seven of Wands. You have too many Wands cards in this reading, but Seven of Swords, number one, he has these polka dots on his cloak. The polka dots in the tarot can represent taking things too seriously. You also have the Three of Pentacles, and on the Three of Pentacles, this lady here has polka dots on her cloak. So this can definitely represent taking things too seriously and needing to be more playful or have more fun. Which it's coming up in the good stuff. So you could be having more fun, or you could be doing things to have more fun. He's also discovering a different way to do things. Instead of having a conflict, instead of going to war with this army in the background, he is stealing these swords from the army so that he doesn't have to go to war. And again, if there are any conflicts in your life, is there a better way to overcome the conflict than having a conflict? And the answer is probably yes, but you're going to have to discover a better way of doing things with that Seven of Swords. You have the Lovers. Definitely could be new love coming in for you. We do see a little bit of love in the reading. And you also have the Emperor, which could be you attracting like an Emperor type person, whatever gender, doesn't matter what gender you are or whatever you're attracted to, but there could be love. I would say if there is love, this is probably divinely guided, because this right here is your higher self angel, and the angel is like guiding these two people together. And I think that there could be like a very, it's almost like a very spiritual connection could be coming in here. It's kind of weird that it shows up at the end. I'm wondering if this is something that is developing, like as in maybe you're not necessarily going to have this person this week, but it kind of looks to me like something that could be developing over the next few months. Maybe you become interested in a person, and then you kind of like get to know them, and then you're dating, which is perfectly fine because it is Mercury retrograde, right? And we also have Mars retrograde. So I think it's perfectly acceptable to just take your sweet time, getting to know a person, not rushing into anything, and just seeing where things go. And I kind of feel like you are. This could be the person, could be a King of Swords type person, could be someone older than you, could be someone who has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So if you want love, looks good. King of Swords could also just be you. Could be your knowledge and wisdom that you are using to create more success or to create more abundance at this time. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, like Two of Pentacles on a certain level is this or that thinking. Most people think of it as like juggling, spinning plates, doing too much. It does say work hard, play hard, which definitely I think more playfulness would be very good for you. But at the same time, it can be like juggling or doing a lot. And the Two of Pentacles, like I said, is like this or that thinking. So I would make sure that you're looking at other ways of doing things with that Seven of Swords for sure. With the Lovers, you have the Ace of Wands. Yes, if you're attracting a person, I think this will be a very passionate connection. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. So I think you could be attracting something that's, very passionate and also very new. Definitely with the Two of Cups, definitely a person who's different than your usual type. So, I think this could be something you haven't experienced before, or it could be a relationship unlike anything you've experienced before. With the King of Swords, you have the Knight of Wands. Again, kind of more like with this, well, let's put it this way. Queen of Wands, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. These are very kind of like playful energies, and they're much more spontaneous energies in life as well. So I think that this reading is definitely saying taking a more playful approach to the week would be a good idea for you. You have this candle. It says you will be shown the way. Yeah, I actually really like this in this reading as well, because that first row is really saying to me that you haven't been getting what you want. I think that's what I said at the beginning. And it's almost like you're being led in a much better direction, which is good. You have the Scissors card. It says disappointment in some affair, 3 of Swords. I think there definitely has been. I would say the entire first row and part of the second row, 5 of Wands and 3 of Swords, there's definitely been some sort of disappointment. But at the same time, I think you're moving past it. You do have this Wreath card that says sorrow over a loss. I don't know. I think a lot of people are feeling this right now. I think that, the way I look at it is that I think we have before COVID and after COVID, right? Where it's like the energy is completely different. And, I think a lot of people are maybe a little bit stuck in the way things used to be. And I think if we could just adapt to the new world, that will be much more successful. So instead of wishing that things were different, working with the energy as it is right now will help you the most. You have this Bull card. It says, do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. Yes, definitely a time. 5 of Pentacles says, call attention to your strengths, not your weaknesses, right? So I definitely feel it's a good time to tap into your strengths. You have this Ant card that says, work, achievement, success. Yes, definitely 8 of Pentacles. I think you could be getting better results for the work that you do. But very interesting, Libra. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.